It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
We are live exclusively on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Carte Blanche for the sports hit list by the fans and for the fans. Thank you so much for joining us today and spending your afternoon with us. And today I wanted to start the show. My favorite show all time is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's why there was a theme Fresh Prince behind the promo today. And they're celebrating their 30th anniversary with a reunion on HBO Max. Will just released a trailer saying that he's dropping it tonight at 8 o'clock. 5 p.m. Pacific time. So if you have HBO Max, you get a free trial for a week. I know it's $14.99, but growing up, Fresh Prince.
This the week to use your free trial.
This is the week to use it. So in honor of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I figured that's today's hit list question of the day is, what is our favorite Fresh Prince moment? Let me start with you, Mr. Box Office, sir. What is your favorite Fresh Prince moment or episode before we get to some?
Man, it's so many, man. Yo, one of the moments is when Will was locked up in the attic with Gina. She started taking off all the nails. It was the one time when he was trying to teach Ashley how to fight, yo. And then
back up.
Right,
Mind your business. That's all.
Mind your business. But yo, one of the craziest things I realized, like R.I.P. to Uncle Phil, is when he died. I didn't realize how much stuff like he was in when I was a kid. Like, he was the voice to Shredder and the Ninja Turtles joint. He was the voice to War Machine and the Iron Man joint, man. It's just crazy. I'm happy to see the reunion. I'd have been a little more happy for an episode, you know what I mean? Like, it's already, they had it written already. Like, the family come back together because Uncle Phil died, you know what I mean? That could have been the episode right there, but I'm going to still be tuned in, man. I can't wait to see it.
Commissioner of the Sports Hit List, Mr. Ray. Ray, what is your favorite Fresh Prince moment or episode, if you have one?
Man, my favorite episode is when Ashley just starts high school and, you know, she's still like just this little girl and everything like that. And then she realized Will and Carlton ain't, ain't paying attention to her. They're trying to holler at her, all the girls.
Oh, yeah,
So next day, you know what I'm saying, it's just a group of dudes, a woman, there's one chick. And, you know, they're like, yo, who's that? And then Carlton, oh, man, she's bad. She's this. And Will's like, yo, that's your baby sister.
Carlton's reaction.
That was
super sick.
Yeah, that was a funny moment. Declan, what's your favorite thoughts when it comes to Fresh Prince? Or are you too young to know that show? I don't know, man.
Nah. I'm gonna shock you, Carl. I'm gonna shock you.
He's still Googling
No. He's still Googling it right now. Shout out to my dad. He was the one who introduced me to the show. I think I was sick, and then he put it on, and I was laughing my ass off. Obviously, great show. I have a couple of moments that I like. It was kind of tough for me to pick. Like one that came to mind. Obviously, I think like the big moment that made like the entire set cry was when Will was like talking to Uncle Phil about his father. Like, why don't he want me? That's like one of the most emotional moments in TV. But I'll go with another. Like, it's a hilarious show, but they have like their moments where like it was emotional. One moment that I always remember, it bothered me like kind of as a kid, was when Will got shot. And then Carlton, they were in the hospital room, and Carlton had to, and he was like, I gotta protect myself. Like, I gotta have this man. And Will was like, what are you, crazy? Like, he was emotional. He was upset about it.
He was like, Carlton, you owe me. Give me the gun, Carlton. Yeah. You owe me.
Yeah. And then,
like
the director, whoever it was, I don't know the guy's name, like zoomed in on Will after Carlton left him. Will's just like crying, and it's like dim, and it was crazy. But yeah, I remember a lot of funny moments, but the sad ones stick out sometimes even more.
Yeah, for sure. Rick, I see you playing it in the background. If I could call that episode, that's when Will gets beat up by the chick in season 6. If I'm not mistaken. I think that's that.
He know the scene. Know what the scene
I know. I'm telling you, man, it's my show, bro. I know every episode.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, when you look back on it, it wasn't on that long. Like, it's crazy. It's only like 6 seasons when you think about it.
For sure.
Like, that don't seem long.
At that time, man.
But Rick, what's your favorite episode, man?
What's up? I had to bring the 90s flair. I had to go digging in to find a nice little bright, colorful T-shirt. And, I had to rep my man Dwayne Wayne real quick, go back, get my 90s vibe popping, you know what I mean? But there's mad
hilarious stuff. You figure the bungee jump proposal is classic.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
mentioned the
remember that one.
earthquake stuck in the attic. You know, the joint you had in the clip when Carlton was hating on the basketball joint. Man, the car accident joint with the insurance. What's your insurance? Your fault.
Yeah.
There's so many, man. There's just so many. When Will smashed Uncle Phil's ex-girl or whatever.
Oh, Janet.
Right? I start going back and forth, and there's so many. But I kind of want to piggyback off of what Declan mentioned. He mentioned two really somber moments, and I think for me the biggest takeaway from the Fresh Prince, I didn't realize how much it resonated at the time because I was a kid, so I was viewing it from a different perspective. But I'll be completely honest, now as a dad, I think of all of the things I used to watch back in the day. Yo, Uncle Phil was probably like the realest dad on TV, in my opinion. I appreciated the lessons that we were able to learn from that show, specifically from Uncle Phil on the low. And I feel like, you know, you watch it as a comedy growing up and it is what it is. But then now in today's times, you go back and watch it. And if you focus on the lessons that are being dished out from that series, man, it's crazy, man. So I think for me, that's what I take away from it the most is seeing such an amazing father figure and him navigating the way he did for all the kids.
Oh, well said. And as I said in my opening statement, tonight is the reunion on HBO Max. You can, if you don't have HBO Max, you can get it for one free week trial for 7 days. It's $14.99. I am ready to go. I thought it was going to be a midnight release, but tonight, 8 o'clock, I'll be watching. You guys make sure you tune in. Thank you for joining us here on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Today's question of the day is your favorite Fresh Prince moment in honor of the Fresh Prince reunion. But let's get to some football, gentlemen. After week 10, let me give you your standings. Rick, I don't know how you're still in the lead, but you are by a thread. Rick is leading with 83 pick-ups. Hanging on. Ray and Travis are tied at 81, and Paul is at 77. Walmack had 11 picks. He tied Ray total for the most picks last week, and he has 75, and Travis has 73. The game of the week, I have to be honest, for me, it had to be that Bills and Cardinals game. I was watching it. I was ready to come in here and start talking my ish about the Bills and have you guys stop hating on them. And then Murray does amazing things and end up what a closeout. Box office, what are your thoughts over here on that game?
First of all, I mean, let's not. We still got to give the Bills a little bit of credit, man.
You're not gonna do that, no.
No. I'm gonna give them a little bit of credit because
no. You got to be consistent.
No. Because hold on, because Arizona, that play is you throw that up 10 times. How many times does he come down with that play? That is just a hell of a play right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. No. Don't get me wrong. It's D Hop, so I'm gonna increase the odds off a regular receiver. But still, man, the Bills went down there. They made the game-winning drive. But that pass was crazy right there. People want to give Kyler Murray the credit. I'm going to give the credit to D-Hop right there because to make it through 3 plays right there like that, to come down with that in that moment right there, that was a hell of a play. The Cardinals, it was a great play. The 2 most interesting divisions in the NFL right now are the NFC West and the NFC East because we have no idea who's about to win the NFC East. And we got 3 teams tied at the top of the NFC West at 6-3, man. Tomorrow's game is about to be a huge determining factor in that division right there.
Well, and speaking of the NFC East, or at least we like to call them, Declan, your Giants, man, congratulations. And some people called it that was a trap game for the Eagles. Impressive win for the Giants. Talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Needless to say, that's why Greg's not here right now. But the for Group Sunday, they performed. Listen, I thought they had a solid game. Daniel Jones was controlling the run game. Wayne Gallman stepped up and had a good game. Went over the pack on that 4th down play. Yeah, things look good. Apparently, they're the Vegas favorite to win the division. Rightfully so. But I mean,
well, at this point in time, I don't think we're believing so much in Vegas. But Rick, you're back on the panel. I see you got the replacements kept your seat warm, and some of them are still advocating to come back on the show. We appreciate that for coming on Sunday. But let's talk about your Dolphins. I see your man Tua was saying it's a little easy. I saw a comment. I don't know how Tua is saying that it's easy for him, but he's showing up. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He's playing great. What are your thoughts on your Dolphins here?
Yeah, I mean, so far so good. 3-0. Think about it. All the hype around 3 big marquee rookies out there that rookie quarterbacks taken high in the draft at the top of the draft and whatnot. Only one of them remains undefeated. So there was a lot of hype talk about Justin Herbert, about Burrow, but at the end of the day, only one of those guys is unblemished so far. So I'm glad he's the guy that's on my team. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's been just him. You know, I think the team as a whole has been doing just an amazing job of really executing the game plan. And I think that's the biggest thing as a Dolphins fan that I'm seeing more than ever now is just, you know, you can see the leadership through their performance. You could see the cohesive mindset. There's not many guys out there. There's not any guys out there that's really just trying to do their own thing and be the guy. Like every single week, it's somebody else different stepping up and just doing their job, plain and simple. Every guy is going out there and doing their job. And that speaks to the message that they're getting from practice throughout the week, from the coaching staff, from the front office. You know, I said it before and I'll say it again, man. Like as a Dolphin fan, I've never been more excited at what my team has in front of them and what is actually building. We've been through rebuilds plenty of times. We've been through the next quarterback plenty of times. We've had top 5 picks plenty of times. And for the first time, I honestly can say I feel like altogether, when you're looking straight down the line, 1 through 11 on each side of the ball, plus the coaching staff and the message, it's looking pretty damn good, man. So I'm happy, man. I'm excited.
Man, just to add on, let me just add on to Rick's point there, man. I'm starting to be a believer in them winning this division, man. I'm sitting here looking over. I'm over here looking over the schedule, man.
Ray's call like 2 weeks ago.
The Bills and the Dolphins both have one hard game that I think they'll lose on their schedule. Yep. But the rest, it's going to come down to that Week 17 matchup right there.
So listen, I was about to say,
let's flex that in the Sunday night now.
My brother is a Bills fan. All week already, I'm looking at flights, man. I just might have to, if they, I don't know what New York is looking like. They're going to let folks in the building, man. Don't be surprised if I'm pulling up on a Sunday.
Listen, man, we have
New York City public schools just shut down like an hour ago.
Listen, Rick, I'll be totally honest with you. Every week is a new rule that's instated. I mean, we got club bars and restaurants shutting down at 10 o'clock. We have this quarantine for Thanksgiving. There's our state, and there's so many rules now. If you get in, I'll be surprised.
They're not letting you in here.
I don't know. If you get in, I'll be surprised.
From Canada.
But Ray, let me ask you this though, Ray. You're coming off a bye week. How was your week off? What do we expect for the Cowboys coming off their bye week?
I don't know. I'm just gonna be. I really don't know.
His week off was filled with a big loss from Michigan.
Yeah. So yeah, they got a bye week. That was good. You know, there's some, you know, rest and whatnot. I mean, this is a good time to get the bye week. But honestly, man, like I don't know what to expect with the Cowboys. The last couple of weeks, they have been improving. I will say that the defense has looked a little bit better, especially after, you know, getting rid of some of the free agent signings that they did. They're starting to play better. But at the same time, I can't really be confident and say that they're going to beat the Vikings this week because the Vikings have been really killing it these last couple of weeks.
The Vikings are coming, man. They are coming.
But let's talk about something a little bit more serious in terms of the Saints and Drew Brees' injury. Where does that put them now? Do we expect them to return for the season? Any injury updates on Brees and how long he may be out for, if he may even be out at all, or
he's gonna be out. He's gonna be out for a couple of weeks. This is Jameis's chance to make some money. He could be what Teddy Bridgewater did last year. If they keep winning, I don't see them rushing Brees at all, especially he got a couple broken ribs and a punctured lung.
Don't take the needle, Drew. Don't take the needle. Learn from Tyrod. Don't take the needle.
Atlanta 2 out of the next 3 weeks 2 times. So Jameis really, this could be an audition for Jameis.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask a question. Is anybody on here ever had LASIK?
I had a
okay. I don't know, because apparently they saying the man, he could see better now. Like they saying about that man was blind out there. But they only got, this could be interesting because they have a game or so over the Saints. I mean over the Bucks, but they got them in the they beat them, you know, in the head-to-head.
Tiebreaker.
So if they drop a couple, the Bucks might be able to come back and take this division, man. So Jameis, everybody's trying to make that comparison to Jameis and Teddy from last year, but it's not the same situation because Jameis Winston ain't the same. They ain't the same quarterback. Like Jameis Winston is out there about to sling that thing. All right, he's ready to let loose. And Teddy Bridgewater, he's more of a conservative type quarterback. So we'll see what happens. I think Sean Payton is going to enjoy it because he's going to be able to throw the ball a little deeper than he could with Breeze for the past couple of weeks. But this is a totally different situation. So we're going to have to see what Jameis Winston, if he is, like Ray said, able to make himself some money for next year, man.
So I'll say to piggyback on that. So one of the things we were talking about as far as the injury, it was reported that that Drew Brees did seek out a second opinion. I don't know if he thought he was going to get a green light to play or not, but the second opinion essentially was the same as the first opinion. Like he needs to shut it down. So
we'll have a seat.
With that, we talk about Jameis. Jameis has an opportunity. Outside, I mean, you go back to last season, you look at the interceptions. Of course, that's a glaring stat. But at the end of the day, the kid's got arm strength. He's got talent. And if it was legit his eyes, if that was really a problem, I got terrible eyes. I've gotten a corneal transplant. I know what it's like to not be able to see and then be able to see. So if that is really a part of his progression and his new life in the Saints, like Travis mentioned, Payton's going to be out there slinging that thing, man. He's got the weapons and whatnot. And I think more than anything, nobody's mentioned yet on the panel, I think Sean Payton is going to take the Corvette out for a full-blown test feed now. And by Corvette, I'm talking about Taysom Hill. We've seen him a little bit here and there in some doses. I want to say the past 2 weeks or so, we've seen him in there a little more. I'm not saying at like a quarterback position. I see y'all shaking your head. I'm not talking about he's going to go in and be like the starting quarterback. I'm just saying you're going to see him on the field a lot more with Jameis as well. It's going to give the offense a completely different dimension. We're going to see a New Orleans Saints team, or offense specifically, that we may not have seen yet. And the offense that we've seen is dangerous. So imagine what it could be if you're talking a Jameis Winston that's not turning over the ball. That offense is going to be crazy. And we're talking about doing auditions and whatnot and making some money elsewhere. Let's remember, Drew Brees almost retired last season. So now you're talking a 40-something plus year old quarterback with a family who's got broken ribs on each side and a punctured lung. If he was thinking about retirement last year, you best believe he's thinking about retirement right now. Yeah. So next year, what does that offense look like? Is it Jameis running the show? Is it Taysom Hill? I don't think he'll ever be a full-time quarterback, but you never know. So I think Jameis is not necessarily auditioning for the next gig or next team. He might be auditioning to take over the helm right there in New Orleans going forward.
He also might be auditioning.
Go ahead, Dad. Go ahead.
Oh, he also might be auditioning for the other 31 teams in the NFL like Teddy Bridgewater was last year. Because I believe he only signed a 1-year deal. So he's not committed to the Saints, which, I mean, Taysom Hill got $16 million from them, which is kind of crazy. It does seem like he robbed them. But, like, I believe that he can be a solid – he's a better football player than he is a quarterback. I think the experiment would be fun to see if it works. I hope he could do good at the quarterback position if he gets a chance. I don't know if he'll get that chance officially, but we'll see. This is Jameis's team, but he'll get more reps.
I think Jameis is going to shine, man. I think
but you would think talking about bringing up the money, like Deck said, that they gave Taysom Hill, and to Rick's point, you would think this is the time that they would unleash him and see what he can do. But I don't think they are. But that whole situation is weird. Like, you gave this kid all this money. You probably gave him more money than he had on the open market. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why they were trying to keep him from the open market, but
he's talented. He
is. Sean Payton sees more. Like,
Ray, what did you say, Ray? Go ahead, Ray. Sorry, Chad. Ray was saying something. Go ahead.
Hill does more than he's not the backup. Like, he does. No. He's on punt returns. He runs the ball. He's like a wide receiver.
He blocks. Yeah.
I know, but
being a backup. That's the thing.
Think about it like this. Let me put it this way. Think of him as a Swiss Army knife. So we're talking about $16 million. You give him $16 million, right? Okay. If you're down receivers, you could put him there. Let's say you give him $3 million as a receiver occasionally. If you're down running backs, you could put him there. Let's say you give him $3 million for that. You're already at $6 million. if you're, every once in a while you could sprinkle him in at quarterback. Maybe you give him $4 million for that. So right there, you're already at $10 million. You know what I mean? And you've got the kick returns, the punt returns, all of that. He's even making tackles on kick and punt coverage.
I agree with y'all though, but Sean Payton
plug in anywhere. It's a good look, man.
Sean Payton has a vision for this guy to be the quarterback of the future.
Sean Payton loves him.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Like, if you're holding on to him to be the quarterback of the future, at what point are we going to see if he can be the quarterback of the future?
Next year when Breeze leaves.
So you're just going to wait till then and be stuck? Right. Like when you got James. I think I don't know.
I think these next couple of weeks we're going to see a lot more Taysom Hill, even if it's not necessarily actually at quarterback, consistently at quarterback. We're going to see a lot more of him out on the field in general, and we might have the answers to these questions over the next couple of weeks. Hey,
right,
Jameis could go out there and throw 3 interceptions in the first quarter, and then maybe
it's highly possible.
Yeah. But guys, let me ask you this before Let me ask you this before I get to the game balls. The Ravens had a surprising loss to the Patriots. And what are our thoughts over here? Box office, what do you think?
Man, I think we discussed it in the group. Like, they're one of the teams at this point we are all out on, I think, as a group. Because, I mean, the offense, the NFL is a very funny league, man. Like, this is what the first season of Lamar, he got in there halfway through the season. So the offense wasn't really, they kind of changed the offense on the fly. So then you had last year where they had the full Lamar Jackson offense. And so you kind of caught teams by surprise. Now you have a whole offseason where defenses and coaches have had time to break down that film, study that offense, and see what's going on there. They have flipped a few bit of things because I remember there was an interesting stat a couple weeks ago where last year they were one of the top 5 teams when it comes to 3 tight end sets, because we all know that helps Jameis Winston get the ball down the middle of the field. This year they're at the bottom of that category right there. So they've kind of tried to flip it and force Lamar to be more of a pure pocket quarterback, but it's not really flowing right. They definitely need more weapons around him. They need a guy. They need somebody who can take over in that offense and be a huge playmaker. I think they need to get in the lab in that offense. Like I said, I think that offense need to convert to a few bunch of things. I think they need to study more of the 49ers and the Rams film and take a lot of concepts from them. Yeah. Get what's his name? Hollywood Brown involved in a lot of those jet sweeps and touch passes and a lot of
screens.
Right. Find ways to get him the ball in open space. Because he's not a pure wide receiver. Paul mentioned it a couple times, put him more in the slot. Like, you got to find ways to get the playmakers the ball in this offense, and I think they're in trouble. I think they're in trouble. They'll probably make the playoffs, but I don't see them as a Super Bowl contender this year.
You're watching the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans, live exclusively on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Rick, let me ask you who you giving your game balls to for Week 10.
Man, well, first and foremost, we already shouted out the boy D-Hop, man. I'm glad you picked me because I was thinking maybe somebody else might give it to him, but come on, man. Like, you man out there, 7 receptions, 127 yards, 1 touchdown, yes, but that 1 touchdown, I mean, it goes back to show you, like, we go back over well, I can't remember when it was, in the spring, whatever it was, when you get that breaking news alert that the Houston Texans traded this man away. It doesn't make sense. I don't care what nobody says. Y'all can have anybody you want. That's my number 1 receiver in the league. Absolutely. So my game ball goes to Nuke for sure. And on offense. On defense, I got to go with my guys. Y'all can call me a homer if you want, but the defense and special teams of the Miami Dolphins are on a roll. Ever since outside of the first week on the season, they've turned the ball over every single week this year, sometimes multiple. They're getting huge impact plays on defense. They're getting huge impact plays on special teams. Not many people focus on special teams. Obviously, it's not the sexy side of the ball. It's that third little section that nobody ever cares about, especially with kickers. You just want them to go out there and do their job. My guy Sanders is out there putting foot to ball and knocking it through. We've got one of the best field goal kickers out there. We're blocking punts. We're blocking extra points. We're intercepting the ball. We're causing fumbles. And I think one of the coolest things about what this team is able to do, everybody's going to say, oh, yeah, it's not Tua. I get it. It's not him specifically on the stats while he's improving every week. I said it the other day too. The aura, the energy, the vibe that he brings to that team, this entire team wants to do good so that he gets that credit because people are waiting for him to fail, especially with the comment about him saying, oh, it's easy, it would be harder or whatnot. This team is responding to his leadership and what this defense is doing. A bunch of young kids, man, there's not many pros out there, like veterans. They're killing it, man. So my game ball on defense and special teams goes to the Miami Dolphins.
We got Manny flooding the comments saying his guy Derek Carr deserves deserves a game ball. So Ray, are you going to give it to Derek Carr for this week on your?
He go out here and beat the Chiefs this Sunday. I'll give him a game ball.
I say this, Manny. I will say this, man. I am paying attention to these Raiders, man. This week is going to be huge, so we paying attention. Don't worry.
Ray, who are you giving your game balls to?
Defense, I'm gonna give it to Ramsey, man. Jalen Ramsey, he did a great job on DK Metcalf. He's proven why they went and traded whatever they traded to get him. Rams defense is definitely it looks good. It's definitely no one really talks about them, but they're really a good defense. So yeah, game ball for defense to Ramsey. He did a great job this week. Offense, I'm going with my fantasy running back. I almost wanted to kill him for his smart / whatever type of play that was, but I still got the dub. Nick Chubb, you almost got the dub, and I needed that dub really bad.
Why didn't he just slide? Going out of bounds made no sense.
I got Nick Chubb in the fantasy in a league too. Actually, it's in Peter's league that I'm boycotting, but we're not gonna get into that today.
Oh, we're not gonna do that anymore.
After 6 weeks of him held on to him as long. I was like, I'm not letting this dude go. He comes in first week, and this is why I had to keep him benched for the long I did. But I'm giving him the.
Oh, shout out to Joel Rivera.
Yes.
He said the Jets deserved it because they had a bye week. So
yo, that's literally what I was about to say. I swear I was about to jump in with that. That shit got me down.
You know what? Shout out to Joel, man. He's been an avid fan for a very long time. Always
for real.
Pulling up, man. I definitely appreciate the support, bro. Love you, bro. Thank you for that.
Yo, that's legit where I was about to go. Yo, I seen that. Yo.
Declan, are you giving it to your guy Danny Dimes or nah? Because I kind of
I'm not gonna do that. First of all, yeah, I think that's the first time the Jets didn't lose this week since like week 13 of last year. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna roll with Nyheim Hines, running back on the Colts. He scored 2 touchdowns, 74 total yards, in their slaying of the number 1 AFC Championship team last year, the Tennessee Titans, for the division. He really helped Phillip Rivers there. He's had a couple of good weeks. He did it on his 24th birthday too, so he'll get my offensive game ball. Defensive, I'll stick with the Rams, and I won't pick a corner who I think is overrated. I got to be honest, but it's fine. I'm gonna go with Rams outside linebacker Leonard Floyd. He had 3 sacks. No, really?
Yeah, that's where I was going. Go ahead.
Damn it!
You see, we're so knowledgeable in here. It's everyone's kind of getting the same picks. It's bound to happen.
He was super disruptive, though.
I thought I was like kind of like given an interesting name, but thank you, Travis, because that really confirmed that I like this pick now. I think he had either a forced fumble or a fumble recovery there, but great game from him, obviously against the Seahawks, which is an improbable feat. So that was nice.
Travis, who are you giving your game balls to?
Offensively, I'm gonna give it to Big Ben, man. Coming off that, he was on the COVID reserve list this week, so he only was able to do virtual meetings, man. He came out there and slung it for 333 yards, 4 TDs, man, and a passer rating of 110. Defensively, I am at a loss here, so now, you know what? Here we go, Manny. Shout out to one of your Raiders, man. I'm going to give it to Jeff Heath, man. He had 2 interceptions and 2 pass deflections in a big game, man. I'm going to give it to him for that one. There you go. Shout out to Manny's Raiders.
All right, so tomorrow
win this week.
Tomorrow's Thursday Night Football. Just to give the fans another heads up, I did release the promo for next Thursday. We will have a Thanksgiving Day special. We're getting 50 minutes, about an hour show pre-game to get everybody ready for Thanksgiving.
We might start earlier.
You want to start earlier?
We haven't told you yet. We haven't told you yet, Carl. But we're gonna be advocating for an earlier start.
Oh my God, so. Early. So you guys want a 2-hour show? Is that what we're saying? Listen, we can talk about it in the comments. We can talk about it. But
makes up for the Lions game at 12:30.
But
did anyone hear that promo? Oh.
What promo? Which one?
That's the
Thanksgiving promo. Yo, it was like
you caught me off guard with that, Carl. I was ready. You came in with the nice family moments, and I thought you was about to drop in with some heat. Like that's what you like to do. You like to,
It's family time. Listen, listen. Anytime it comes down for the holidays, I'm down for the holidays. It's all about family. So I figured we'd take a different route. And as the holidays get closer, stay tuned to the promos, the Christmas promos. Maybe a Hanukkah promo. You don't know what I got up my sleeve. You don't know what I'm cooking up in the kitchen. So I'm telling you, man, you don't know. We'll see. What's up, Deck? You okay?
I'm flustered. First of all, I got such like sweet potato vibes. Like I think I smelled a Christmas candle when I was listening to that.
I hope it was gonna cut to like a food fight or something going on. Like it was just pure. Like
we'll see what I got.
I thought he was going to jump in the frame with his wife, like all cuddly, and be like,
you know what it is. As a content creator, we always have to be original with our content. So we got to do it very original around here on the Sports Hit List. But if you guys are going to pick tomorrow's game, Cards versus the Seahawks, the father's already picking the Cardinals. Who we got here?
I'm taking the Seahawks.
All right, Seahawks. Write that down. Done deal.
What the hell?
Week 11, here we go.
Right
Rick?
So the first game was fun as hell. Arizona's had a bunch of games that have just been fun as hell. I cannot wait for this game tomorrow. Seattle is kind of teetering on the brink, and this is a game they got to win. So I'm going to go with Seattle.
Seattle. Wow, okay. Seattle's lost 2 in a row, right?
Right, that's why I'm like,
Russ is thrown into the wrong team far too often. That's got to stop.
Manny has the Cards 27-21. Manny always coming with the exact scores. I don't know what he does for the scores. Like, this is crazy.
I hate that when I got to pick a score. Like, just let me pick a winner.
Travis, you're on the clock, bro.
I'm going to go, man. This is a must-win for them. Like you said, Carl, coming off 2 losses, man. This has got to be a bounce-back game for them, man. I think at some point, this defense is gonna get on a roll for the playoffs, and it starts tomorrow, man. I'm gonna go Seahawks on this one.
Seahawks. Okay, that's what we start off with week.
Here's one thing I'll add too. I mean, I know we still got a couple weeks left in the season, but the division is decided tomorrow, in my opinion. I think the division.
So 3 of you guys
don't sleep on the Rams, man. The Rams everybody's sleeping on them. Don't sleep on them.
So 3 of you guys go with the Seahawks, and Paul goes with the Cardinals. One other quick tip about Fresh Prince we didn't talk about: Jeffrey's one-liners. Oh, Declan, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so focused on whoever's in the Pick'em's predictions. I apologize, Deck. I apologize. Go ahead, man. Make your pick. I'm sorry.
Carl, if it wasn't for that beautiful Thanksgiving video, I wouldn't forgive you. But I forgive you. Geez, I'm going to use some analytics to think of this. I'm going to go with...
You're talking too much to Andres, man. I don't know, bro.
Right?
Let me finish. So we have the Bills lost to the Cardinals on a Hail Mary. The Cardinals beat the Seahawks in overtime. I'm just kidding. I don't care about analytics. So what I'm really going to go with, so the Cardinals kind of remind me, and I'll try to keep it short. The Cardinals remind me of what the Seahawks were in 2012 when they beat the Niners. I believe they beat them twice that year. I'm tempted to go with the Cardinals. I originally was thinking Seahawks. I'm going back and forth. I think it's going to be a tough game, shootout. I'm going to go. I don't feel like betting against Russ on prime time again. I'm going to go 34-31 Seahawks.
All right.
They better have a QB contained on both sides of the ball, though.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us here live on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. I'll see you guys for week 11, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. You're watching the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Let me bring in my NBA contributors. The NBA is coming back, and it's time for the guys.
Uncle Phil.
And these guys who have been on some off seasons. We have We have Jordan Eugene. Jordan, we need you to the front of the congregation. We got a lot to talk to you about, my young friend. We have Ziggy Zig, co-founder of the Sports Hit List. We have the coaches in the building. And Mr. Mike Miller, my brother. How you doing, guys? How's everything going?
I can't hear nothing.
You can't? I can hear you, though. You can't hear me?
I don't know why I can't hear you.
But I can hear you, bro. I can hear you. You're good. I can hear you.
What are you doing, Carl? I cannot hear you.
You gotta come back. You gotta come back.
Come back, Mike. Come back.
J Mac.
He can't hear you.
I can't hear nothing, bro.
I can hear you, bro. You're good. I can hear you. Hold on. Let me text. I'm texting you right now. I can hear you.
Oh.
This how you know it's live.
I'm
That's how you
bugging
know
out.
it's live.
You good, Mike?
Yeah, I got my Bluetooth on looking dumb. Like,
You live, bro. You live on the
Crazy,
Worldwide
man.
Sports
Hold
Radio
on.
Network.
That's a sucker MC
gentlemen,
move, man.
it is a sucker MC move,
man.
for sure. You know what it is? He's
That
just
was-
excited
yeah,
for
that's
the
right.
Fresh Prince reunion. That's what it is. Mike is excited as I am for the Fresh Prince reunion. Before
yeah,
we
you
get
know
to the
that.
basketball,
You know that.
I have to talk about the question of the day. Your favorite Fresh Prince moment. Will Smith just said he's releasing it tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. So, Mike, that means for you it's 7 o'clock on HBO Max. It will be released. Coach, your favorite Fresh Prince moment all time or favorite episode?
2. My favorite moment is gonna kill y'all. My favorite moment actually was when Aunt Viv, the original, that episode when she went back to dance class and they was killing her
I
because
was
she
watching
couldn't
that
dance.
last night. I was watching that
Yo, when
last
she
night.
came back in that room, it was like N1, N2, N3, and killed them. That was my favorite. And then the most impactful moment for me was the episode with his dad. When his dad left, that moment was, I think, would define Will Smith as a serious actor for that show. That showed his range, and that was my favorite moment. My most impactful moment was that part.
All right. Zig, I know you're a Martin fan, but I got to ask you the Fresh Prince one. You know this. I'm on Fresh Prince all day. What's your favorite Fresh Prince moment and or episode?
So just like Mac, I got 2 myself, right? I'm gonna make it real quick. The first one was when they had to call Uncle Phil to come and bail them out when they was in the pool hall. That was one of my favorite ones. I enjoyed that one.
Season 1.
And
man.
my second favorite, which is probably my all-time favorite, is when Carlton had to stand up for himself in the frat house against those dudes who thought he was a sucker.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh,
That's
yeah, I
a good
forgot
one.
about that one. That's a good one. Jordan, do you remember the Fresh Prince, or are you too young to know what that is? I don't know.
I'm 41. I know the Fresh Prince. I know
Go
the
ahead,
Fresh
Jordan. Your
Prince of
favorite
LA.
moments, bro. Go ahead.
I'd have to go with what Coach said. Like, as for Will Smith, that moment with his dad, definitely for sure was what really built his, acting career even bigger. You know, so that moment was definitely serious, and it still touches me to this day. I have my father in my life, but just to have that, just kind of I felt that, you know.
All right, and Mike, I know you on the same wave as I am. We have so many episodes to pick from.
So many.
So
yo.
what's your favorite moment if you could define it in one episode or moment?
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, shouts out to Ziggy for picking that episode. OG Bobby Johnson was in that episode. The youngest don't know nothing about that. So my most impactful moment had to be, I'm going to give my favorite episode most impactful moment. Most impactful moment had to be him and his dad. Like, my dad's in my life now, but growing up, when I first saw that episode, my dad wasn't in my life. And that still makes me cry to this day. Like, just that episode is crazy. Like, and like Max said, it took my man, Will Smith's greatest actor ever. I debate with your moms if you disagree with me. But that took his career to another level. But my favorite episode is really, and I had to write it down because I knew, I was like, let me get the episode, season 2, episode 15, My Brother's Keeper. And for those that don't remember, that's when he was playing ball against Alan Payne.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Stokes. That's when he let him win.
Yeah, he didn't let him win. He let him win in that.
He made the point on it. He let him go around him. They was mad at the end of the game. And then if everybody know the closing credits, Will was like, he was like, this is what you wanted? He was like, yeah, this is what I wanted. He was like, give it to me then. I'm going to give it to you then.
Yo,
So
that episode, him and his boy are just like, they're like, that episode is funny.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna act like, I always tell my friends, I'm mad at all the studios for using a half court to try and make it like a full court. You had the money and budget to go get a regular gym, and y'all was using a quarter of a court to make it look like it was a full court for a
boarding school, Beverly Hills High School, where kids was paying $60,000 a year to go to. Get them a full court, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
As I said,
one more point in that episode. One of the favorite lines was he was like, they were sitting there eating the chicken. This was in the beginning of the episode, and they was eating the chicken. And Carlton was like, "We got to get ready to practice for Marcus Stokes and Malibu." He said, "Holmes, I'm from Philly. I ain't letting nobody from Malibu beat me in basketball." So it's a legendary episode. So that's my favorite episode.
For sure. As I said in my opening statements, tonight is the reunion. We get the old Aunt Viv. We get the new Aunt Viv. I want to see how that goes down.
There's only one Aunt Viv. That other person is an imposter.
The original. So we are here, fellas. Basketball season back in full swing. People say that the free agency season is probably better than the actual season. I know we had some time off.
There's football games this week?
They're off. Matt, speaking of football games, you had 11 pick'ems again. 11 again in back-to-back weeks. So you're killing it out there. You're killing it, man. I'm telling you, bro.
This week, I'm a basketball coach who knows more about football than your football analyst, but we're not going to go there. What's his name? Mark? Come see me, man. Get your picture, bro. Get your picture.
Listen. Rick is flooding the comments. He said Martin is overrated. That's a conversation for another day. That's what he said.
All right.
I just wanted to point
Hold
that
on,
out.
just for that, I'll be right back. Hold on.
It's that Florida water.
Oh, here we go. Shenanigans. So now there's a lot to talk about. We got the draft. We got free agency. We have trades. But Jordan, I'm going to call you to the front of the congregation because your team is on the hot seat. Can you tell us what's going on in Houston? What is your take? Is Harden going to end up in Brooklyn? Are they going to trade Russell Westbrook to Washington? The rumors are spoiling it all the way out there. He turned down $100 million. Bro. Listen, I don't know how.
Carl, you gotta stop and acknowledge that jacket. Acknowledge that jacket. Come on, man. That is fire.
That was for Rick. That's for Rick.
Mac always got something up the sleeve. You know what I mean? With the signatures. With the signatures. You know what I mean?
That's fire. Yo, the show just took another level just now. Yo, that's
Fresh Prince Martin. They ran the streets. That's what it is. That's what it is. But listen, Jordan, though, there are so many things going on out here. Your guy turned down $100 million in 2 seasons. And Mike, this goes back to our conversation about ring chasing and getting paid. Remember, I told you it's about rings, and you have a guy now, he turned down the money for rings. Jordan, what do you have to say for yourself, man? Come on, please inform us.
When I first heard the news that Westbrook wanted out, I'm not going to lie, I was like, this is just like last season, like CP3 wanted out. But I didn't believe that. And then eventually we traded CP3 on our own accord, but that was a completely different situation. With everything going on, it's so confusing because one minute you see Westbrook say something like along the lines of it's fabricated and how it's not like they don't want to play with each other. But ultimately, I think at this point it's blown up to the proportion where I'm ready for a rebuild. I'm completely ready for a rebuild. That's mentally where I'm at. I genuinely think it's what's best for the team at the end of the day. I mean, if you're going to trade James Harden, you get a young star and some picks to back it up. If you're going to trade Westbrook, I think you do trade him for John Wall. But if you don't get John Wall, then try to empty out with an up and coming star and some draft picks as well. Honestly, I think that the Rockets right now are just not looking good, and I've been distraught for a couple of days ever since it happened.
You want me to get you a box of tissues, or you good?
Sound like he could.
Tissues will help.
Yeah, what you doing?
Listen, we all go through it. Now, Zig, you from Brooklyn. Is Brooklyn on the verge of throwing a party if James Harden gets traded to them, and they're on the verge of going to the championship? What's coming out of Brooklyn right now with these rumors?
I can't believe you're really asking me about the Brooklyn Nets, though. That's the first thing.
Disrespectful.
But yo, listen, I think Brooklyn's been partying since they got Kyrie and KD. You know what I'm saying? So there's I don't know if there's going to be as much celebration though, because on one half of the end you have a bunch of fans who are happy, about the prospect of James Harden coming over here, but then you have other fans, shout out to Manny, who are saying that they don't want to gut their entire team. That sounds similar to what the Knicks did when we traded Melo to the Denver Nuggets. I mean, traded for Melo from the Denver Nuggets, where we kind of gutted our whole team and was kind of left with just him and a broken down Amari Stoudemire. The difference is, though, you're going to have 3 superstars on your team. The only problem is you just want to see, is it going to work? Because all of them, in a sense, with the exception of KD, Irvin and James Harden needs to have the ball in their hand to be prosperous. So we'll see what happens, yo. But don't ask me about no Brooklyn Nets, man. Come to me with the next question, bro.
Mike, what are your thoughts when you hear Harden to the Nets and possibly teaming up with the likes of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving?
Yo, I think it's an embellishment of riches. Like, I think it's crazy. And first, just to be clear, I think the Nets should do it. I mean, the NBA has a very clear history that whoever has the most stars, 99.9% of the time win. Detroit 2004 Pistons notwithstanding, if you got two MVPs potentially on one team, assuming KD's healthy, there's two MVPs on one team with Kyrie. I was telling a friend of mine earlier, it's OKC on steroids. It's what James Harden and KD already played together. Kyrie is a less erratic Russell Westbrook. He's smaller, but he's less erratic and a better shooter. You have that mix, you just put whatever around them. And we know the same things that were said about the Rockets potentially blowing up or depleting their bench, that was said about LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh going to Miami. That was said about KD going to the Warriors. That was even said about Anthony Davis going to the Lakers. They were saying, why would the Lakers give up all of these things for Anthony Davis? Lakers won the championship. So ultimately, you get the best players available. If all these players are not at the level where there are closers like that, you have KD, who is the closer that makes that mix work. So if I'm the Nets, you do it. And as Jordan said, Houston, it's a mess right now. They're throwing everybody. They're sellers right now. So at this point, you just start over. You know the rebuild is coming. Just rebuild and start over. But I like it for both teams.
Coach, Ricardo Etienne said to ask the tough question that says, can the Nets finally take over New York officially now if they get James Harden? What are your thoughts on that, and how long is it going to take for this trade to actually go through?
Listen, that's not going to happen because it's just I'm not even being a hater. When the Mets were rocking in the 80s and they had Doc and they had Darryl Strawberry, they had it for that time. But this is a Knicks city still. It's going to take another generation for it to become a Nets city. You have to start off with the youth. You got to start off with the kids. Those Nets fans who will be Nets fans now, who will be Nets fans for the next 30, 35 years of their life, and then they're going to have their kids that are Nets fans. That's how you take over a city. And you even see with the Lakers, with the Clippers, that still hasn't happened. I mean, the Lakers have won championships, so we can't compare them to the Knicks, but it's tough to take over a whole base and be that city's team. Like I said, the better example is the Mets. The Mets, 80s, were rocking. Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, Keith Hernandez. They were the bad boys of baseball. They won a championship in 86, I believe. Yankees were at the bottom of the pits. Nobody was going to the Bronx. And then all of a sudden, money started to pour in, and everybody was still rocking those Yankee hats, those NY logo Yankee Jay-Z hats. So it's going to take a little bit more than just one championship or two championships for it to be Net City. Are we going to share the city? You best believe it. The city will be split because the excitement is going to be in Brooklyn. I'm not even going to lie to you about that one. The excitement of those three guys together, that will be a hot ticket. People will be flocking and more to go see the Nets. I just hope Nets fans can afford the tickets because you see what we did to you even when you had KG in them. It was more Knicks fans in the buildings than it was Nets fans.
So what are your thoughts here? The trade hasn't gone through yet. There are a lot of rumors circling around that the Rockets want Kyrie Irving in return, and there's a lot of different things going on. What's Wome here?
That'll never happen. They will not throw Kyrie into the mix because there's a real friendship between Kyrie and KD. That's one thing people have to understand. If you're not gonna, KD would never sign off Kyrie, and Kyrie's the one who kind of like, KD was waiting for Kyrie. That's who made the decision. Kyrie said, I want to go to Brooklyn. KD was like, all right, we're going to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So
what's going to get this deal done to get James over here to Brooklyn? Or is it even going to get done? Or is there another team possibly in the mix?
The agreement is done. But what what Houston is doing is they're being smart. I'm pretty sure they leaked out that agreement to try and get other teams in the East to overbid. They want the Boston Celtics to come in there and say, hey, we're going to throw in Tatum. We're going to throw in Brown. I mean, no, I don't think the Celtics are going to do it. But that's why that verbal agreement leaked in the first place. People got to understand, these leaks don't come from players just telling their friends and then their friends going to Twitter. These leaks come from agents telling media people on purpose so deals can be sweetened or deals can be lessened. That's why the leaks are brought out in the first place. So for me, I'm pretty sure Houston wants to get a better deal. even though I think they're getting a pretty decent deal, I compare this to kind of like what happened with the Knicks and Carmelo Anthony. Like the Knicks game off the hall for Carmelo Anthony. Yes, the Knicks had a good 2 years, probably better than Denver, but whose structure was better built for the long haul after that Carmelo and New York and Denver trade? Denver got a lot of pieces, got some draft picks, and they built a structure and foundation. You see what Denver is now. You see where the Knicks are now. So, Net fans, you got to understand, if you're going to do this, it's a 3-year window to win championships. If it doesn't happen, you're going back to the basement. That's what's
I know your favorite fan, Jay Lex, is flooding the comments. You could read up on those in a little bit because he's saying so many things about the Knicks. But I wanted to touch upon some.
I'm not listening to a guy who don't know how to do jump jacks, but teaches a show on doing jump jacks. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it, Jay.
Okay, I wanted to touch upon something that's been bothering me, and when something's bothering me, I got to go off a little bit about this. And I've been seeing a lot of the LeBronians are saying out here, well, are we now accepting super teams because when LeBron did it, it was a big problem, but no one has a problem with James Harden doing it. Let me say something clear right now that people don't seem to understand and realize is that, again, that was 10 years ago. And we've said this before, that LeBron set the blueprint, and it's been 10 years. And us as NBA fans, we have accepted this new era when it comes to super teams. So therefore, we saw Kevin Durant go form a super team. We saw Anthony Davis force himself to the Lakers to win a championship. So why all of a sudden now that we see James Harden doing it, are we going to get upset like we were 10 years ago when LeBron did it? It doesn't make any sense. And I don't understand how LeBron is out there celebrating his championship and he's minding his business. And now we're in NBA free agency and we find some way, shape, or form to make him relevant by bringing his name up to the conversation of us comparing us as fans. It doesn't make any sense. So for those NBA fans out there who want to sit here and say that we're being hypocrites, we cannot sit here and do that because, number one, LeBron is the most polarizing athlete in the NBA. Everything that he does is overly scrutinized. So you can't sit here and compare him and try to make the standard of everybody else just like LeBron James. We can't do that. We can't sit here and do that. And frankly, it gets annoying. We're sitting here in NBA free agency and people are sitting here trying to compare. Why aren't we criticizing players for making super teams? Okay.
Listen, you got to add them or dap them. Who we talking about here?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Mac. That's what I'm saying.
Or dap them. Who we talking about? Who complaining?
Who complaining? Jeff C was complaining. Oh, Jeff C, you know, Brandon Falco was complaining. All the LeBron fans, all of them out there. I'll call them name for name. He said Brandon don't count. I'll call them out there. And then other people co-signing it. Eddie Gonzalez. All of them.
Jeff C pulled up.
Pulled up. I'm talking to him, and he knows the guy. I'm gonna say it again. I'm talking to you, saying why aren't we comparing it to what LeBron did? We got to understand again. We're used to this. Listen, we're used to this now. For somebody to be an NBA fan for the last 10 years and tell me you're not used to looking for a super team, how many super teams we've seen in the last 10 years? We've seen it done, right? Every year there's a new guy. Kawhi Leonard forced himself to the Clippers and then demanded to get Paul George. And we didn't say nothing last year, and that happened last year. So what are we talking about right now? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to super. You're not trying to win. That's just what it is now, man.
That's just what it is now, yo.
If you're not trying to super, you're not trying to win. Like you can't win without 2 or 3 superstars. I'm sorry, Miami. Miami did a great job this year. Bubble league, they worked their butts off, and kudos to them. But if you're not getting 2 superstars, you just playing to make the playoffs. You ain't winning.
We've been seeing this for how long though? Even before LeBron started to quote unquote dictate it. Look at the 80s. Look at that. Look how much stars was on the Lakers and the Celtics. Come on.
Yeah,
now.
but you know what it is? Part of the problem is LeBron fans will always feel like, oh, everyone has to get criticism just like he did for the decision.
That's crazy.
And that's part of the problem. It's always
the insecurities, Carl. That's all it is. It's the insecurities as LeBron fans. They're emotional, man.
The other trade that happened, CP3 to the Suns. A lot of people feel that was a great move. Mike, what are your thoughts on that trade?
Okay, so it gives them a chance. It gives Phoenix a chance to be an 8th seed. So
that's exactly what I said, and I got criticized. Mike, listen, that's exactly what I said, and I got criticized for saying that.
No, it's bumped in the first round. It's common sense. So we gonna go off of CP3's revitalization year last season. We're gonna go off of that, and so now people are saying Devin Booker gonna lead the league in scoring, and DeAndre Ayton is going to be like Shaq. Yo, Okay, CP3 has the leadership, no doubt. So they may have a chance to sniff the 8th seed. And then if you just start thinking about the West, remember, this is not a down year with the West anymore. Like, the Warriors are healthy again. Denver's going to be better. Like, Portland's healthier. So this is not the same kind of
But
West.
Mike, hold on. But Mike, aren't we? I gotta play devil's advocate here. Aren't we? You gotta give him a little credit because what do we think CP3 was going to do to OKC, who didn't even have a Devin Booker?
But that's what I'm saying.
So that's what I mean. So if he got that team to 8, I think he can get this team to about 6.
My second point is that this is not a down year. Last year was a down year. Half the teams in the league half the West teams were hurt. So you was able to get in and it was a bubble. So you was able to capitalize on a funky year. But now everybody's coming back, except for KP. Everyone's coming back healthy, relatively healthy. So you got already 6 to 7 teams. That's
they could play.
The only spot they sneak in. What'd you say?
No, I was saying I think if you add CP3 with a Booker who's playing the way he is and Ayton getting a year better, depending on what they put around and how those players, I can see them matching up with Dallas.
No. That's what I'm saying. If you take out Dallas and you take out Houston's done, right?
OKC's done.
OKC's done.
Yeah.
But you got let's just do the top: Lakers, Warriors, Denver, Utah, Clippers, Portland.
You think Utah is better than Phoenix? You think Utah's better than Phoenix?
You think that team is better? Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying we're thinking. When I had this conversation with somebody the other day, I'm thinking it's best player for best player. You start and star. So we're basically saying that we believe Devin Booker is going to go to this next level with Chris Paul. If you believe that, then I can't argue with you. His trajectory does say he's probably going to hit, but I'm just saying right now, if you ask me who do I want, Damian Lillard or Devin Booker, I'm going to take Damian Lillard. Who do I want, Booker or Devin Booker?
So Zig, jump in here, man. You've been quiet. What do you think?
Well, I've been sitting here just waiting for my turn, but I always let Mike and Matt go ahead.
You gotta jump in.
But me personally, I gotta disagree with Mike. I don't think they'll just be an 8th seed. I think they could, like Max said, I think they could jump to that 6th, maybe even 5th seed. Devin Booker took a huge step in those last few games, and I'm looking forward to it carrying over for this upcoming season. As we talked about DeAndre Ayton just now, he had a pretty decent year, and nobody really talks about it, I guess, because of all the stuff that's going on, the bubble and COVID and whatnot. But I think he put up 18-10 or 18-11 with a block. So we're looking for him to continue to get better. And Chris Paul, as you just said, Mike, is a leader, right? And Chris Paul is going to do his thing and continue to be one of the best assist men in the NBA. And I think they could get that 5th or 6th seed for sure, man.
Yeah, but for me, it also comes down to you get the 5th or 6th seed, then what? You're going to make it into the second round or you're going to make it to the conference championship? No.
I mean, you got to crawl before you got.
But that's what I'm saying, Carl. There you go. Again, Mac.
Walk before you run, man. Like you got to build. Like Phoenix is one of those teams where they really hasn't had a lot of success in a long time. Like Phoenix is a good city. You can try and attract, somebody to come there if you're playing well. I'm not trying to say you're going to be a big 3. You ain't going to be the Lakers. Or you ain't going to be what Golden State and the Nets are trying to do, but you can really become a real threat and not be a bottom dweller. Remember, this is a team that Devin Booker was really about to leave because he wanted to have a chance to make the playoffs. Like, he just wanted to get in the playoffs. Now you're talking about maybe getting to 6 or 5 where you possibly could get to the second round. That's a win for a franchise that hasn't been there in a long time.
Absolutely.
Jordan, what do you think here with the Suns?
I think the Suns are better than Mike's pointing them out to be. I mean, CP3, you just took the Thunder with no other star with him. I mean, his best co-teammate was who? Steven Adams, and he took them to be the 5th seed, 6th seed. Was it the 5th? I think it was the 5th seed. The Thunder were this past.
I think they were right?
The 5th seed.
The 5th. They were 5th. Yeah, because the Rockets were 4th. Yeah.
So I mean, for him to take him that far, and then now you're adding a young star like Devin Booker, and then DeAndre Ayton. I mean. This team might go, I'm saying, maybe top 5.
Okay. The only other major trade we had, Drew Bledsoe going. Not Drew Bledsoe. What am I saying? I'm sorry. Drew Holiday. I'm sorry.
Come on,
well, I take my L. Excuse me. Holiday going to the Bucks.
Shouts out to Drew Bledsoe, though. He's a great quarterback, man. Shouts out to Drew.
Okay, go ahead. Yep. I mean, I take my
I had
L
that
on that
jersey
one.
in high school, man.
Yes, listen, I take my L on that one.
I thought you had a rock and jock league that we didn't know about.
Yeah, like Drew Bledsoe versus
Drew Holiday.
You know what I'm saying?
Drew Holiday going over to the Milwaukee Bucks. Does that make a difference in the Eastern Conference for the
Eric
Milwaukee
Bledsoe.
Bucks or not? Coach, what do you think here with that trade?
He said Drew again, didn't he?
No.
Oh, all right.
I said Holiday.
Oh,
Holiday.
okay.
I said
Go
Holiday
ahead, my
get
fault.
traded.
You know, this is one of those trades where it's not a big splash, but it may get your team that much better to try and get over the hump to be competitive with what other teams are doing. This is like a race, an arms race game, like compared to war. Like everybody's getting arms. You can't stay pat. If it didn't work last year, as a GM, you want to keep your job. You want to be a general manager. You cannot just sit there with the current roster.
Tell that to Danny Ainge.
We're good.
Thank you.
We're good. Well, that's why they on his back right now. So you can't stay in pat.
Stupid.
So Giannis put the pressure on them. Was like, I got to see something different. Now, you know, he had to okay this. He knows who Drew Holiday is. He okayed it. He let them know, I think this is going to upgrade us and give us a better shot. And then they went and got the guy from Sacramento, the guard. That's the bigger
Bogdanovich.
Donovich.
Yeah, that's a bigger piece.
That's the bigger piece that gives them a little more shooting. You know, he's a little younger, fresh legs. Like, you can't stay pat if you're trying to win a championship with all these other teams stockpiling arms, and you're just going to be like, oh, we good, and you didn't even make it to the conference finals last year. So, you know what I mean? They had to do it.
Zig, do you like that trade for the Bucks?
I love that trade. Reason being, I think Drew Holiday is probably the most underrated player in the NBA. He doesn't get talked about at all, man. And he just does his thing on the low, and he's very modest, he's very humble, he keeps it to himself, plays on both sides of the ball. So I'm looking forward to that coming to Milwaukee. So now you add what's his name, as you just mentioned, Bogdanovich. You now have Holiday, you got Giannis, now you got Chris Middleton coming off of these screens. It's going to be something amazing. I want to see what they do with their bench, because they did give up some key guys. Sorry to see George Hill go, but more so my man Vincenzo. I like Vincenzo a lot as a player. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the Bucks are going to do. And I want to see if Giannis is going to actually accept this contract extension that's maybe coming up.
I don't think he's accepting it. Jordan, what do you think of the trade?
Just picking off where Ziggy left off. It's just like, at this point, if Giannis can't make the Eastern Conference Finals at least this season, I think we have to stop talking about him being a top 5 player in the NBA today. Just
ding, ding, ding.
Because if you have that much help and you can't even make the Eastern Conference Finals, that's ridiculous.
Okay, Mike, what are your thoughts on the trade? Does that help the Bucks get over the hump or no?
That Jordan's point was my main point. First of all, I love it for the Bucks. And it reminds me of, because everyone said last year when they talked about Giannis's second back-to-back MVP, they compared his first, 7 years with Milwaukee to LeBron's first 7 years in Cleveland. And to me, this is similar how Danny Ferry, when he was the GM for Cleveland, kept making key picks to help LeBron get. They weren't necessarily Amari Stoudemire and Jason Kidd, but he was making good enough picks to where, as Jordan said, now you the superstar, we got stuff around you, you got to be the person to take us to the next step. Of course, LeBron didn't, but that's going to be the case with Giannis. You've been putting pieces around you, and there were no superstars available for him to get. So this was the best move to make in order to show him, see, look, we're willing to work. At some point, players, even though, again, we just said it's an arms race and everybody's got to get superstars, but at some point, players and their game and coaches, Coach Bud, have to do the extra stuff to get you over the hump. Giannis has to improve his game. Coach Bud has to be more dynamic with his offense. This should be enough to get to the finals. KD and James Harden notwithstanding, if they lose to them in the conference finals, that's cool. Nobody's going to be mad. But if he doesn't even, like Jordan said, if you don't even make it, then it's on you. It's not because you couldn't get a superstar. So.
Yeah, and meanwhile, I'm sitting here, everyone's making moves, and I'm waiting on Gordon Hayward to figure out if he wants to.
Nah, y'all about to make some moves.
I hope so.
Kemba's out. Kemba, they trying to move Kemba.
I saw that. I did. Yeah, they are. Yeah, I saw that.
Trying to move Kemba.
It's because of the knee?
I don't know.
I just think I just think Kemba's a great player, but like you said, Danny Ainge hasn't done anything for a long time.
Just
He's
sitting
all
on
those
picks.
picks.
You know what?
Gotta
You
do
know what it
something.
is? I think people are afraid to get fleeced. They don't want to trade with us, man. We got free agents don't want to come over here. Our last big trade was when we obtained Kyrie Irving, and ever since then, we haven't been able to pull off a trade. And I think teams don't want to get fleeced again. So
Yo,
it's
Isaiah
that.
Thomas y'all got the
That's
curse of Isaiah.
Yeah,
That man put his
that's
heart
what that
in.
is.
Yeah,
It's
that
the
is
faster
too.
way.
Yeah,
Danny did
it's
him
all of
dirty.
that.
That's what that
And you
is.
guys already know how I feel about Danny. It's time for him to go, man.
That's what
Enough
that
is
is.
enough. It's time for him to go. Listen, Joe Dumars was able to bring one championship to the Pistons, and he lost his job. Danny Ainge is on that same boat, and he still has his job. He's got to go.
Now we
With
know
that
why
said-
he got his job, though. We ain't gonna go into that though. But
Oh, yeah, we know.
Right.
We know.
We already
With that
know.
said, though, we have the NBA draft tonight. I know Anthony Mullen is all about the BBB Big Baller brand tonight.
Oh,
LaMelo's on the clock. So, Coach, who's the best player coming out of this draft? Who's the sleeper pick coming out of this draft tonight?
The best player in this draft, we don't know. Like anybody who's gonna try and tell you they know who the best player is, they're crazy. This is one of those drafts where we're gonna look at it, 2-3 years from now, and it may be the 9th or 10th pick that actually ends up being one of the better players in the draft. Who has the most talent, hands down? I mean, the three guys: Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, James Wiseman. Those three guys, I would think you have to put them a little bit above the other players because of what they showcased in their respective leagues. Anthony Edwards is a monster, 6'5", played at Georgia, big time SEC basketball. He's a grown man's body, ready to play at the next level. LaMelo went over to Australia when people counted him out. That's a pretty good league, probably the 5th or 6th best league in the world, but they got physical players in Australia. A lot of those guys come to the NBA. He proved his worth. And James Wiseman, he's the real roll of the dice. The guy played like 4 college basketball games at the University of Memphis. Coming out of high school, he would have went number 1 if he came straight out of high school. So that's what people are still thinking. Decided to opt and not play last season, and he's been working out well with certain teams. So those three guys I think are a little bit above the other players. But then you got guys like Isaac Okoro. You got Hayes who's coming out. You got there's so many foreign guys who are right there. So I'm excited about this draft. I like drafts like this a little bit better than where you think everything, because it really lets us dive in. People are going to make mistakes. We're going to get to question different GMs and have some fun with it. Hold on, I gotta shout out the boy from New York. I can't do that just in case my New Yorkers. Obi from Dayton, man. I gotta shout him out. Like that,
Yeah.
He's like a
I was
Blake
just going
Griffin.
to ask you about him too.
He's a
I was
Blake.
just going to ask you.
Yeah. Hey, yo, Mac, I know somebody else that that's in this draft, and we're praying for him. He's family. Nate Pierre-Louis out of Temple. He's in the draft.
Lewis?
Yeah. He's family.
Big
So
Big shout out to him, the lefty. I coached against him when he was like in the 7th, 8th grade. His father, Fonz, played at Wagner University in the NEC, so we were pretty close.
Yep, that's
and
cousin.
also, I
for
got another kid who actually played for my AAU team, Precious Achua, who's probably going to go between 14 and 19.
Okay.
Congratulations to him. Oz Cross, Shane, those guys did a great job with Precious, and he did a great year at Memphis, and I'm rooting for those guys tonight. But back to Obi, he's like a Blake Griffin, type player who can actually shoot coming out of college. If he extends that range, the only big knock on him is how good can he be defensively. That's what people don't know what he can do, because it's a big jump to go from playing the big man in college to playing the 3-4 in the NBA. So, this talent, this group is going to be interesting to watch for the next couple of years.
Ziggy Zig, let me ask you this, man. With the 8th pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the New York Knicks select?
Man. The right person. Jeez. I don't know, man. Gotta be the right person. Honestly, I've been doing my research. I've been looking and I've been paying attention. And personally, I like Killian Hayes out of France. He actually was born in Miami, but I like him from France. Able to play on both sides of the ball. Has to continue to get better. Continue to get stronger. But is a wizard with the basketball in terms of passing. He's a little bit too left hand dominant. He doesn't really. When he goes to his right, the ball gets stripped. But I personally like him. I would love to have Obi come on the squad, but I don't think he's going to be around when the 8th pick comes. So
we might be able to, Ziggy. We got that 23rd pick. If we put the 8th and the 23rd together, we might be able to move 1 or 2 spots up. It depends on who the guys pick before us.
Well, I'm with that. I'm with that. If it means moving Julius Randle ass up out of here, I'm with it 100%.
Hold on. Jeff C in the comments talking about nobody cares about the Knicks. Yo, bro, listen, man. I don't come to your job to tell you what to do.
No Knicks slander today, Mac. Not accepted.
Listen, man, this is the time of year we can dream. Just let us give us a day. We've been
no Knicks slander today.
Yeah, listen,
listen,
Mac. You know I've been on my best behavior as of late. You know that, right? I've been on. I haven't said a word. I haven't been on my best behavior. Yeah, I'll be chilling. Yeah, I do be chilling.
Jordan, the bubble. The Bulls make the bubble?
No, they in the draft too.
They need to send Zach LaVine. Come send him my way.
Jordan, what are your thoughts on the draft tonight? What are you looking forward to?
Personally, I've seen, like, when I was in high school, a fun fact, I was like a manager for the basketball team. So
shout out to St. John the Baptist as in high school. SJB Cougars 24/7. Go ahead, man.
So one of my jobs was to record games, and I would just go with the team everywhere they went. And one of the teams we played against was in Queens, and it was actually the high school that Cole Anthony went to. So I saw Cole Anthony. About him. I seen Cole Anthony play live, and it was so crazy to watch him just go against us and drop like 40 and blow us out by 60 points. You know what I mean? Cole Anthony, I think, is really good. I would love him personally on the Rockets or RJ Hampton, because right now we really do need a two guard, and we're not going to get Anthony Edwards because, I mean, that's top 3 picks right there, top 3, top 5, easy. So, I mean, RJ Hampton is not a bad backup to get a replacement. But my favorite player in this draft has to be, BBB, Triple B.
All right. Mike, what do you think your Warriors do? I know you're an avid Warriors supporter.
Thank you.
No, you did not.
Come on, man. What is that?
Why you said it like that? You want to put my Pacers first. No, I don't care. You can say what you want. Hold on, man.
We still
got Steph Curry right here. We got number 30 right here. So I don't know why. We still got Steph Curry.
He just proved my point.
We gonna support the baby face assassin every time.
He just proved my point. As I was saying, you're an avid Warriors supporter. What do you think they're doing in this draft? What do you think they're doing in this draft?
Yo, this is the thing, and I've been racking my brain about this, trying to think about it, because my Pacers picking 45th, so we still worried about Vic and all this nonsense, so we gotta get him up out of there. But yo, everybody keeps saying James Wiseman because he helps with Draymond in the paint because Draymond's getting slower. I believe, based on what Mac said earlier and what most people are saying, because you don't know with these 3 picks, the Warriors should be everything that Bob Myers should be thinking about is how do we package this second pick for a proven star? Now, somebody was talking to me the other day, and they was talking about using that pick and maybe Andrew Wiggins to try to get Vucevic from Orlando. That sounds crazy, but people were just coming up with different, because Orlando's one of those middle-of-the-road teams where you maybe can seduce them, but I think the Warriors' focus should be trying to trade this pick because James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards would be good too, but they're bringing back a championship core. Now's not the time to watch somebody mature. Now's the time you get an established star, because they're out there. Bradley Beal's name been mentioned. A bunch of people have been mentioned. You use that to get somebody to win for you now. So I think that's what they're going to be focused on.
Nah, come on. What we doing here? Man?
You saw that, right, Mac?
What are we doing here?
You saw that, right, Mac?
People sneaking in.
You saw that, right, Mac?
We just.
Yo, come on,
Back listen. He's a back. I know what he wants to say. I'll give him the.
You want to come talk about LaMelo? I don't see it.
I know it. Yo,
no. I was gonna say on a coaching standpoint, I disagree. I agree with you, Mike, and disagree on. Well, you didn't say that play. You said someone else said the play about Vucevic. Listen, the Warriors. They don't need their offense. If they're going to run something similar to the offense they had, they don't need a post guy you throw the ball into. They've never been successful. That's not their style. They need another wing. So unless you're going to get a Bradley Beal, I'm taking Edwards or LaMelo Ball if they're there, because you've proven that you're going to play with Draymond as a point forward, 2 or 3 other guards who can score, and you go get a big man who could just rebound, change shots, run the floor, set picks, down screen, flare screen. That's what your offense is. You're not throwing the ball in the post and just getting guys to post up and then working off of that. That doesn't help your team out. So, if LaMelo's up there at number 2, I'm taking LaMelo if I'm the Warriors, if I can't get a proven.
Yo, Mac, I'm with you. I originally but like early on this year when they were talking about Melo the Warriors possibly getting the number 1 pick and taking Melo, I was like, yo, you just take him and put him with Steph, or you could use him. But I'm saying if you're the Warriors, you are championship right now. You use that pick to get Bradley Beal. The Wizards are selling right now. They just said a report today that they're talking about Houston trying to get them for Russell Westbrook, John Wall. The Wizards are selling. Pull Bradley Beal from them, or something.
No, if Golden State wants to win.
Time out, Mr. Mullen. We just have to go back in the history of the hit list and let the fans know why you're here. Because 3 years ago, when Lonzo was getting drafted, it was Big Baller Brand. He was the best. You had the T-shirt. You ended up not getting what you were supposed to by paying for a T-shirt. I don't know how you ended up getting one.
You didn't get them sneakers. You probably paid $500 for them.
You didn't get your sneakers. But listen. You thought he was the face of your franchise, and they ended up trading him. And now where he is, he's a subpar player on the Pelicans. Then we get to the second brother, right? The second brother didn't make it to the league, and now we're at the third brother. Now you're here to advocate for him now. So be careful with your words and what you say.
It's nothing to advocate for. It was already spoken to existence. You heard Uncle LeVar. It was already spoken to existence. He told you Lonzo 2, Melo 1, Jello 3. He told you how many years ago, and what happened?
Jello ain't make it.
Jello ain't make it though.
Jello
was Jello.
No, he's gonna be the third. See, no,
he didn't make it.
Exactly. He's gonna be the what? He's gonna be the third one to make it, right?
He's not making it, bro.
Melo would be 2, and Jello would be 3. Right?
Listen to Wom.
Right?
He's not. Listen. Okay, listen.
Wom said Lonzo wasn't going 2. What happened?
I didn't say that. I never said that. Stop lying. See, now you
I know. It sounded good.
If you're not gonna have integrity, stop lying.
It sounded good.
Won't have both brothers working out with him in St. Francis Gym. Let's not go.
I was there.
You was there.
I got the pictures.
You got the pictures.
I was there. Right. That's when I met that was a family reunion. That's when I met my cousins for the first time. Uncle was there. I got the pictures. I can show you. I was there. And that's when Melo was about my size. Now he about 6'7". Now he a monster.
So wait. You're predicting You're predicting he's gonna be the next superstar.
Number 1.
How does he fit with D'Angelo? That's the question.
If anybody wants to win, you talking about if Golden State wants to win, you go get Bill. If anybody wants to win, you go get that ball. You hand him the ball, and he gonna get you that gold ball. Just like LeVar said.
Lonzo, man.
What?
And
what happened?
He got traded. He got traded. And now he got.
See, he was enough value. See, that's how much value he had that he could be traded for the great Anthony Davis. That's how much value he had that he could be traded for the great Anthony Davis.
You better stop and say, stop. That's not what you want.
They didn't take Cool.
I let you in. I let you in for you to say.
KCP.
Listen. I let you in for you. Hold on, wait. I let you in for you to say that shit. What?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Now you cursing.
You got
drafted number 2. And I told you, it would be because of him that we would get that gold ball. And it was because of him that we got
That's not what you meant.
It's because of him.
Yo, stop it.
That's not what you meant. Get him out of there, man.
It's because of him that we got AD.
I got him out.
Get him out. Yeah, right. Get him out.
I can't.
Get him out of here, man. You talking nonsense. Get him out of here.
I can't. I got him out. I can't. I'm sorry. I can't. I got him out, man. I can't.
Yo, Carl, before we finish, I wanted to ask Mac. Well, I'm gonna call you by your coach because you're a coach, and this is a coaching question. Do the Timberwolves take him number 1, and how does he fit with D'Angelo?
No, just me personally, I'm taking Edwards because if I'm I got a point guard. Give me a strong wing who's going to have a scorer's mentality, who's going to play the wing. Like I don't want to you gotta. If you were the Warriors at number 1, maybe because that's the way you play. You get what I'm saying? You play loose and goosey and pass the ball and do all these crazy screens, but Minnesota got Cat. They dumping that ball down low. They need some strength. They got D'Angelo pick and roll, a little more traditional basketball. So I'm going to take Edwards. Even though he's saying some wild draft answers, some wild answers to the question.
So I'm not bugging. He is kind of bugging with that statement.
Yeah.
All right.
But I talked before to his coach at Georgia. He thinks the world of him. He thinks he's a great player. And he just, he thinks that he's going to be a great talent, instant offense. and he can get it going at this level.
him.
So
Hey,
I'll be interested
Before
to
we
see
go,
it.
Coach, next week, college basketball returns, man. College
I mean,
basketball returns. We'll have a
listen.
pregame show for the fans for them to start picking their colors.
It's
You know, St.
it's
Francis
getting
till I
scary.
die.
Yes, sir.
It's getting scary, man. I'm just praying that all these student athletes are safe. I'm praying that these coaches and the NCAA make the decisions based on the health and safety of these student athletes. You know, it's different from professionals who have a job, who are making millions, who are taking care of their families, who can
right.
take those risks to take care of their families. When we're talking about student athletes who are playing, and yes, they are on full scholarship, and yes, they do get seen for the next level, but most of the things that are coming in due to their hard work are really going towards these universities. And if any one of these kids gets sick, God forbid, you know, that'll be a horrific situation. So I'm praying that everyone makes the right decisions based on the health and safety of these student athletes. And if we do have a season, everyone focuses on the protocols and tries to stay as safe as possible.
Amen. Coach, before we go, we just got one more question from CJ. He says, do we think there are any major trades going down tonight during the draft?
Oh, it's trades. Yeah, it's going. Listen, that 3 to like 10, we don't know. It might be like Antoine Jameson, Vince Carter type situations going on tonight, because all those players are bunched in together. Nobody knows exactly what they need. They trying to make other calls, and you got to understand too, we didn't have workouts. We didn't have Portsmouth this year where guys played. We didn't have traditional team workouts where they came into their facilities. A lot of these people are not decided. They are not concrete on who they want and saying they need them. So anything is in play tonight.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us here live.
One thing, yo, let me. Sorry, Carl, to cut you off, but
It's
yo,
okay.
I've been seeming like a hater of Devin Booker. A lot of my people saying, yo, why you always hating on Devin Booker? Yo, shouts out to Devin Booker. Yo, I want Devin Booker to win, yo. Like I want him to be successful. And you know what? I'm gonna rock with y'all. I'm gonna switch my. They probably gonna be the 5th or 6th seed. You know what? Shouts out to Devin Booker, man. I'm gonna show my man some love. I'm gonna show him some love.
All right, you guys take care. I'll talk to you soon. We got the final episode of the Mount Rushmore coming this Friday, the coaches segment. I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys enjoy the draft. Mike, the NBA is
fantastic.
I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to All Sports Hitless content. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Take care.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.